In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to send a post request in Postman Web. A post request is what you use when you want to create data or submit a form to a server, so it's one of the most common actions when working with APIs. First, open Postman Web in your browser by visiting go.postman.co/home or web.postman.so and sign in to your account. When Postman loads, you'll land in your workspace, which is the place where your requests and collections live. To start a fresh request, click the New button, often shown as a plus icon, or choose New Request. If you prefer, opening a blank tab works the same way. This creates a new Request tab where we can set everything up. In that tab, look for the method dropdown on the left side of the URL bar. It typically defaults to GET. Click it and select Post. Changing the method tells the server you're sending data rather than just asking for data. Next, place your cursor in the URL field and paste the API endpoint you're targeting. For demo purposes, you could use a placeholder like https example.com/API resource. Make sure you're using the exact URL your API expects, including any path segments. Because Post usually sends data, click the Body tab below the URL. Choose the format that matches your API. The most common is RAW with JSON selected on the right. Use this when the API expects a JSON payload, for example, curly braces with key value pairs in quotes. Postman helps with syntax highlighting, but be sure your JSON is valid, with commas in the right places. If the API requires form data, pick form data, which is great for files and mixed fields. If it requires URL encoded form fields, choose X2 form URL encoded. The API documentation will tell you which one to use. Postman will set an appropriate content type header automatically when you pick these formats. Enter the data the API needs in the body area. Keep field names and value types exactly as documented to avoid validation errors. When you're ready, click Send. Postman will execute the request and display the results below. Check the status code to see if it worked, such as 200 or 201 for success. If you see an error, like 400 or 415, review the URL, body format, and data. The response body and headers often include helpful error messages to guide your fix. Adjust your input if needed and click. Send again to test your changes. You can also switch between pretty and raw views in the response panel to make JSON easier to read, and use the status and time indicators to understand how the server handled your request. That's all there is to sending a post request in Postman Web. Open your workspace, create a request, set post, provide the endpoint, add the body in the correct format, and send. With these basics, you can quickly iterate as you build and test your APIs.